This is Salamancer, you're watching SalTV, and I thought I'd give this game a little attempt at a cast myself. Of course, I didn't get to start with some silly faces because I'm actually casting it live, so this is not totally new for me. But sorry, you don't get to see the face. Anyway, this is going to be Vector versus Xensity. So this is an awesome game already. Vector and Xensity have clashed in the past, but not with the same rosters. Not entirely. So we'll see which team comes out on top right now. So far, the mid-fight is going for Vector, although they lose their demo man with a very good rocket there from Tic Tac. And Xensity, I mean, they've had quite a few amazing players on their roster. Ghostiyama, who has been an invite soldier before, tries to jump in to get the kill on the med, but Ninja Nick, no slouch. He manages to keep himself alive before now. No, he's actually down. Sorry about that. Tic Tac did take him out. And now Miles on a little bit of trouble here. Mile High Militia, as he's been called in the past, does not quite manage to finish off Tic Tac. So Tic, who has been on Xensity like forever, along with Ark. I think he and Ark are kind of the core of the team. He's still alive, and he is kicking ass right now for Xensity, helping them single-handedly win that mid-fight. Blinky apparently did die there at some point, and finally Tic Tac gets taken out inside the house. Apparently he was in the wrong house, and Vector just kind of walloped on him for a little bit. But it is going to be Vector suddenly pushing in and stopping the cap. I'm kind of surprised by this. They are still contesting mid here, and of course this is the, I think, the lower bracket, no, upper bracket semifinals? Oh crap, I don't even know. No, you know what? I'm pretty sure both these teams have actually lost a game, so it's got to be lower bracket. I'm almost tempted to like check that right now. Maybe I'll check in the halftime, but it'll definitely be in the description if nothing else. Because it could be, if it's the lower bracket, then it could very well be that whoever loses this ends up getting knocked out of the tournament, and neither of the teams want that. So I am waiting to see what happens. Right now, of course, Xensity kind of holding forward here in their yard. Pretty standard stuff. It's not a lot of unstandard stuff you can even do anymore on Badlands that really works, because Badlands is such a studied and such an overplayed map in some cases. But it's still a good one. It's got some amazing topography, and it lets players showcase their individual skill. The brains, indeed. The brains don't come into it as much. It's just the team skill and the team practice. So we'll find out what exactly happens here, whether our zombie soldiers are going to be able to stop this. Looks like there may be a push through the house, and yes, that's exactly what Vector want to do. They got to be careful about this, they're losing a lot of health, but they take out Cringe right now. Oh, that scout does manage to stay alive, though, and so they've traded a soldier for a scout. Not a great trade for Vector. They will have to back up right now. In fact, I think they traded their pocket soldier for that scout, so that's not really not good. Zebrian, though, is going to go for a back cap. He's actually jumping up through here just so he can get on top of this thing. He's using the basher to jump as quickly as possible. Gets the health kit up there, so he's at full health. Xensity losing a couple players, including Ghostiyama, that ex-invite soldier. The Uber is just finishing up, and you see Mile down there taking down Manny. Manny is actually Solid Snake. Just so you know, they have changed their aliases once again, but yes, Manny is Solid Snake, and you may actually see some kills coming from LOL Beast Mode. That is Ark himself. Right now, Vector's doing a pretty good job. They just have to keep their med alive, and they will. So Cringe, Tic Tac are down, and Ninja's still taking some hits, though. He's got to be really careful about the spam right now. He does not want to drop any of this Uber percentage at all, because Vector, they could get away with a free win for the round if they can finish up the cap and keep their med alive, but Ninja Nick just kind of walked into that rocket. Still wants to keep his soldiers up here. I think that maybe if they're med, I don't know. I'm not going to try and overanalyze it. I can't even talk right now. I'm not going to try to overanalyze it. Vector are going to try and repush, and so they're actually just going to go ahead and use this Uber, I think, to cap the second point. Blinky took a lot of damage, though, and they might not have to just because they managed to force enemies out so much. There is still a soldier jumping up for the Spire, and control of the Spire is really important right now. It looks like so far it's going to go to Vector, but you do see the rotate jump in from Tic Tac, try to finish this off, and there is a force pop out of Vector. Now they're in some trouble, too. You see that they are backing away. They lost way too many players there, so Xensity in a pretty good position after that hold. A lot of their players are hurt, including LOL Beast Mode, aka Arkizzy or Ark. But they are going to grab some kits, get some health from the med, and be good to go. Incoming soldier jump, and I thought Dougie would go for that shot for sure, but he just completely ignored it, and is instead going to try and stop this cap on mid as their team finally gets the backup they wanted. Dougie is laying waste to everyone on Xensity right now, along with Mile and Zebrian finishing that off. This is going to be a round for Vector. That was a beautiful play. Twice now they have gone for that back cap and just caught Xensity a little bit by surprise. So there you go, Vector capping the second point, one enemy left on the field right now. There are a few who are going to be respawning, but it's just not enough. There's going to be a huge Uber advantage here for Vector, so there needs to be a crazy play. Thrixter actually walking in, I'm not sure. Well, no, he did manage to buy enough time, so I was like, I'm not sure if that was the best play, but he basically stood in front of the door and took enough attention for long enough that his team just walked out of the point and won the round. But I got to tell you, there was not much of a way that they were going to lose that round. That was a very good round for Vector. And Xensity, who have been a fairly dominant team this season, especially with all their ex-invite players, we're going to see if they have what it takes here. Manny, realizing he kind of flubbed that rollout a little bit, and actually almost took a lot of damage inside the window. It's very well-placed sickies from his opponent, Dougie G. But I keep saying Manny. This is, of course, Solid Snake, and he knows how to dodge damage, if nothing else. He also knows how to play the Charge and Targe demo, which is hilarious. But, oh my god, ridiculous damage already coming out of Solid Snake, and he's not done yet. He takes down Z Brian. Xensity falling back on the amazing skills of the One-Eyed Wonder demo here, and you can actually still see his head if you like zoom in close. Okay, whatever. Don't worry about it. Xensity winning that mid-fight in a big way, and they are going to turn this right around, probably win this round. Unless Vector gets some kind of weird pyro play going on. If you guys have not seen the pyro play yet from the last game I casted, oh my god, it was ridiculous. 7 was just amazing pyro. I'm going to say that right now. That it was enjoyable to watch and pleasing to the eyes and other appendages. And Xensity is going to be pushing fairly soon. You see them walking the medic upstairs. They don't want to walk him into any sticky traps. But, oh my god, Dougie actually does get a nice trap there. And he did force the Uber early enough that it's going to barely be wasted here. There's not going to be anything left by the time they get into this point. And so you see them walking under the point right now, though. Oh my god, so close to getting captured. That almost should have been a cap, but Vector just barely managed to hold it off. And yet, they got popped off the point by that one rocket for just long enough. It was Ghost Ayama walking in and just being like, oh, lol, too easy. You can imagine he would have written the number 2, the letters E and Z. TF2EZ. That's what he would have written. Maybe he actually did. I don't even know because I turned off the text chat. But I'm sure he's lolling about that right now. And we're getting out to another mid-fight here. We'll see which way Ghost decides to go. He's going to jump towards the enemy Demo Man. He finds him. He's got to be careful about the pipes, though. And I do like the dodging that we see from Ghost Ayama right now. Oh, nice kill on Mile. And he's going to start laying waste to a lot of the Vector team here as well. You see the scouts trying to escape. Z Brian and Thrixter both taking a lot of hits here. And it looks like Thrixter is down. Schwan now down as well. So Ninja Nick and Z Brian are the only ones left alive, and they are retreating. I'm sure Z Brian will be trying to build the Uber. Yeah, using that Boston Basher to do just that and make sure they don't have a huge deficit. But Vector losing another mid-fight pretty badly here, so it does seem like so far the team that wins mid wins the round. And Xensity, if they can just pull together a few more mid-fight wins like that, it's going to make the game very strongly in their favor. You do see Vector forcing an enemy pop and then popping the Uber of their own. The multi-Ubers is, it's looking pretty good for both teams actually, so they both end the Uber at about the same time. We'll be able to deal damage to each other at the same time. But a scout coming in from behind the blue team is going to start dealing some damage. Ghost Ayama is down though, and the scout actually not able to get quite enough damage done. Arc kind of missed some shots there, couldn't kill the med. And you do see Cringe up here. Cringe, I looked him up, and I didn't know this, but Cringe used to play on Check 6 in Season 9. He's been invite like Season 7 through 9 at least, and now he is going last. Oh no, Mile predicting that one though very nicely. Takes down Cringe, laughs all the way to the bank. But yeah, Cringe, of course, another one of those ex-invite players that has joined Team Xensity. And it's looking solid right now. Xensity once again pushing Vector to last. I was reading a political blog because the elections are coming up, and I thought there was an interesting comparison they made. You could kind of think about it this way in TF2 as well, although I'm not sure what the percentages actually are. But if you lose all your mid-fights, it's not impossible to win the game, but it's sort of like if you're down, you know, if you're thinking American football, which I'm sure not everybody is familiar with. Anyway, incoming Ghost Ayama dying, actually. It's like being down by a field goal with, you know, 3 or 4 minutes left to go in the game. It's not insurmountable, certainly, but it makes things a lot harder, and you have to do some weird stuff to win it. Now, it looks like Xensity is losing some players right now, and so the weird stuff might not even have to happen from Vector, as they are just able to take advantage of some deaths going on from Xensity. But interesting Uber position here, and it looks like it might get reset. No, Blinky actually going to get taken out. Ghost Ayama going Spy, though, and that's probably a good choice, except there's a heavy on the point, so he won't be able to get a back cap. He's got to be really careful about this, because he is using the regular invisibility watch right now. Oh my god, I can't talk. Using that regular watch, and it looks like a scout's going to get in. Oh, nobody's paying attention. He gets the stab. Going to have to go for a couple revolver shots on the scout, but that's actually a surprisingly good exchange for the spy. And there you go. ESEA taking that clutch spy play to win another round for Xensity. Yeah, I mean, a revolver shot does something like 45 to 60 damage, I think, almost per shot, depending on how close you are. So you can take down a scout in 3 hits very easily. Scout, of course, can take you down in 2 if he gets right up next to you. So it's not that bad for a spy. It's a little better for the scout, of course, but you still got to be careful on the scout. Big jump in coming in from Mile right now, and ESEA trying to keep his med defended. Mile does die, but ESEA somehow hitting himself with that rocket. I don't know why he clicked that. He's now going to jump in after the med, takes down Ninja Nick very easily. Xensity losing so many players, though. I wonder that that they didn't keep tabs on ESEA. That was a little bit weird there. But Xensity will have a nice Uber advantage if they keep their med alive, which they will. He'll just kind of run back to his spawn. Problem is, you can't do a lot with an Uber advantage in this situation, and Vector won that mid-fight very effectively. So Vector will be pushing in to the last point with their... Oh, I want an unusual hat. I don't take that as license to gift me an unusual hat, though, because it seems like every time I say something in a shoutcast now, I really should wash my mouth. It's like every time I say, man, I really want, you know, a team captain, I get a gift, like, that same day. Somebody, like, gifts me a team captain, and I'm like, oh, God, no. Why? Why would you do that? I know. It's cool. Like, I appreciate the gifts, but I don't want to beg for them, because it's not, I don't know. You should keep your own TF2 wealth, and you should use it for other purposes. That is my point. Oh, Thrickster has the nasty sounding, like, deep voice from Halloween right now, and somehow stayed alive through that. That is one of Thrickster's amazing skills, taking people by surprise very effectively with his positioning, and he did exactly that. There was an Uber out there, I think, from Xensity. They managed to maybe cap this second point. They shouldn't have much of a problem, but we are going to watch Thrickster try and get around behind right now. And he does immediately spot Solid Snake. Takes a little too much damage, though. Oh my god, and he's still alive! Nobody able to take down Thrickster yet, and Thrickster, of course, I think a Latin American sensation. Don't actually know which country he is from, now that I think about it. Come on, Thrickster, where are you on this screen? Okay, he doesn't have that bad of a ping, so it could be he's actually in the US, and I'm just completely lying, but I don't know. He's getting in here and taking a lot of damage, though, and this time around, Vector, I don't know what happened there. I guess they tried to get into the point and used the last bit of their Uber, but it did not work for them at all. And you see what they're doing here now. This is very standard practice. I've even done this in pickup games, so that tells you how standard it is. But when you are in trouble like that, you've lost 3 players, the enemy has all 6, you basically just back up all the way. And nice surf by Ninja Nick, by the way, to keep himself alive in that situation. Enemies Ubering into him, and he stayed alive, still building the Uber. ESEA is still forced to stay on last because his team has not capped this point yet, so he is actually out of this fight. Finally, Xensity will finish up this capture, and Mile High getting taken out after trying to bomb in on the med. So things are not looking up for Vector right now. They're going to have to back up to mid. The one good thing going for them at the moment is that they've got an Uber, and they will be able to possibly defend mid with that. But it's still not an easy time. They need to get some respawners, and they need to get them fast. And right now, they're actually giving up a lot of ground. Ninja Nick taken down somehow. We didn't see it, but Solid Snake destroying him. There is another backup attempt, but this time around, it is not going to work. Xensity stacking that point, and there is no hope of stopping them. They are a giant 6-man juggernaut right now, pushing onto that spire, and that is just a scary sight for Vector. This could go to halftime very quickly, as we do see, we see a little bit of a scouts catching out Solid Snake once again, but Solid Snake is so good. He's got amazing positioning against these 2 scouts right now, covering that one ramp, and he finally saved himself there, he saved himself for long enough for the scout to come save him, is what I meant to say. Dougie G taking down the Ubers on the point. Vector can't stop this. They are all dead. That is, in fact, halftime. And Xensity is showing why they were dominant so much of this season. They really were. It was an absolutely dominant team. So we'll talk about that more after the half. But we had a good fast halftime here, so we're going to be watching the Schwan cam. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to be watching the Solid Snake cam, taking his rollout once again. And Vector, they need to change something here. I think maybe they've realized it. Maybe they just had a really quick pep talk, or maybe they just don't want to talk about it. I don't even know. But Schwan was telling me a lot of the Vector players have played together for a long time. They've gotten better as a team for a long time. Solid Snake in some trouble, and Mile does get that kill. However, Dougie G and Mile are both down, so they are slowly trying to work their way back up to a better position here. And they are doing a lot of damage, actually. ESEA is down, but Xensity is getting the better kills right now, and I don't know why Vector are still staying in. They really want to build this Uber, but this is such a bad position Vector really should not be staying in like this. I think the only reason they have is because they knew they had a medic advantage and they could get the Uber up. They actually have turned this around into a pretty good position as long as they don't lose Ninja, but they just might. Ninja Nick is not in a good position right now. It does not take a lot to get a flank on him. Is there a soldier background here, though? There is not. Ninja Nick might actually stay alive, keeping very good tabs on where all of his enemies are. That is some beautiful work right there by Vector once again to cap the point. Actually, oh, he was... Okay, never mind. This was back towards his spawn. I thought it was back towards the other spawn. I am so confused right now. That poster is not fixed. That one is. And Solid Snake with the classic. The charge and targe. Did not expect that one, did ya? But Mile does manage to get around behind and make it an even medic exchange. Tic Tac, though, getting such a huge air shot. And Xensity turns it around once again with superior DM and the sword and board demo man of Solid Snake. Every once in a while, he will break that out. It's not really a very dominant thing to do. You'll usually lose to a solid team with a solid demo man, just regular vanilla demo man. But occasionally, if the enemy's not expecting it, all of a sudden a demo on your face with that sword out, and that sword with all of its crazy range, yeah, it's very effective. Vector could very easily lose this game, especially if they keep wasting players like this in 1v1s. We do have Cringe trying to knock this soldier back out of the air, and he did a pretty good job of it. Staying up on this point, he will be able to get the cap and probably get away with it. 16 health, but he can't stop anything from happening here. So Vector once again are going to be pushed onto their last. They're not doing any sort of off-classing just yet, although Mile may be thinking about it. No, he's just going to grab some ammo and be good to go. Thrickster, this is interesting. Thrickster is in forward spawn right now, waiting for the enemies to try and make a push. I'm not sure. He's thinking about moving forward. Doesn't see anybody out here. Okay, problem is, people might actually hear him behind, and sorry about the camera work here, but there is a crit screen coming in right now. Xensity critzing in, and they have gotten 2 kills. Thrickster actually was getting in behind and trying to get some kills there, but he didn't do anything. The only thing that happened here is that Xensity forced the crits and didn't really manage to quite get enough damage done with it just yet, but Dougie G is down, and Xensity can re-push with this, which is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to get players on the point. It's now 4-1, and Vector are falling apart. And a lot of it's just that superior deathmatch, which is, you know, people say deathmatch a lot. It is just the 1v1 skill of each player, the deathmatch skill. I'm not exactly sure where the term came from, but I'm sure it came from one of the old original FPS games where you'd have, you know, like a deathmatch style, you know, Quake or Unreal Tournament or whatever have you. Games that I did not play because I was a loser as a child. But, oh, Tic Tac with the 6 shots, and Vector losing a couple players already. They've killed Ghost Ayama, and Schwan maybe want to get in on top of Solid Snake. Nice kill on Cringe. Solid Snake doing a lot of damage with the pills, though. And he is going to wreck Vector. Vector getting wrecked-ered. No, not at all. So that's pretty much all she wrote. There's going to be a huge Uber advantage for Xensity, and they are going to continue on in this tournament. I didn't actually have time to check the brackets, but I may as well do that right now, because you won't even be able to see it, will ya? So I am going to try and do that. You know, come on, where are the brackets? I got to find them quickly. I got to tell you what this is actually going to be, the game that I'm thinking it's going to be. Well, it may be too late, because there is a push coming in right now. Vector managing to try and shut this down a little bit. But Schwan has taken so much damage. He does actually manage to stay alive for the moment. Tic Tac getting taken down, though. Vector losing too many players here. I think that is going to be it. Almost! Dougie G actually getting a couple kills there at the very end, but it is not enough. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the game. So Xensity going to continue on in this tournament. Okay, now I totally have to find the schedule. Where did it go? All right, we're going to talk about brackets real quick. So that was the lower bracket semifinal, which means that Vector is now knocked out of the tournament. Xensity is going to continue on. Xensity was actually the #1 seed, and they got knocked down to this bracket by a team called Down to Pound, which is interesting because then Down to Pound got knocked down by Steve C Games. So in the next round, we're going to see Down to Pound versus Xensity again. Can the #1 seed Xensity come back and beat Down to Pound? Well, I don't know. Hopefully we get to see that pretty soon, though. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been SalTV, and you are watching Nothing Happened on Badlands. Subscribe.